Okay, so now let's talk about the shape of the distribution because we can be able to look at the shape of the distribution and know where most of our values are at. Okay, now let's go through these examples and let's do them as examples. Now, here we do the first one. Here's a histogram. We want to see where most of the values are at. Now, it is easier to analyze by doing this. What we do is we go right at the center of the first bar, we put a dot. Right at the center of the second, we put a dot. Right at the center, we put a dot of each bar, right? At the center, we put a dot, right? And then we join these dots with a smooth curve. So let me do a smooth curve joining all these points. Okay. It's not as smooth as I wanted, so we'll start from the top. Okay. Something like this. Oops. What happened here? Goes like that. Then comes, the curve comes here, like that, and like that. So now we can be able to look at this curve and see where is our peak at. Is it towards the left or at the right? Here we can see that the peak is right at the center if there is no tail. So if the peak is right at the center, then we say we have a normal distribution. And we're going to learn more about this. Our peak is at the center, which means that most of the values are at the center because that is where the mountain is at. That is where the peak is at. Most of the values are at the center. We call this a normal distribution, okay? If you look at it, it is exactly symmetrical. It's like the peak is right at the center. We can split it in half like that. Now let's look at this second example. Let's look at case 2. Let's do the same thing. Put a dot at each, right at the center of each bar, and then we join them. Okay, the smooth curve. So I'd rather start at the top like this, join with the smooth curve, curve here at the top, come down, join with a nice smooth curve like this, smooth curve joining the points. And here, if you see this now, we have a tail towards the right side. Look at the right side. That's where we have a tail. Okay, we have like a tail at the right. So now we have a habit of looking at the tail. If the tail is at the right of your mountain, then we say this is right skewed. Or we say it is, this one is the more famous one or the better one. The better one, we like to say it is positively skewed. That means we have the tail at the right, at the positive direction. That is where we have the tail. And this means that most values are at the left. When values are towards the left, that means they are small values because these are small values here. These are small. Here, right here is where we have the medium. Then here we have the large values, right? So where is our mountain at? Our mountain is at the left. And that means that it is at the smaller values, okay? They are the smaller ones. So most values are small because the mountain is at the left. We say it is positively skewed because we have the tail at the right, which means very few high values, right? We saw the mountain at the center, normal. The mountain at the left, we said when we have the tail at the right, we say it is positively skewed. Now we'll look at the third and final one. What would we have? Let's put the dots right at the center again, and let's join with the smooth curve. So I'm going to join it for you. Wow. Okay, it seems easier to draw from the top going down. Like this. Then you curve, then here you do exactly like that. Now, if you see, we have the tail. Here is our tail, huh? Can you see the tail? The longish, nice longish tail that is going. We have the tail, okay, at the left now. and we have our mountain coming and then coming straight down. Here is our tail. That is exactly what we have. The tail at the left side, and we say this is negatively skewed. Okay, when the tail is at the left, or we can say the negative side, which is the left side, we say we have a negatively skewed graph. And what it means means that most values, you must understand what negatively skewed. It is talking about the tail, but the tail doesn't tell us most values. For most values, we now look at the mountain. The mountain is at the right, so that means most values are large values. Okay, most values are large values, and that is how we can look at the skewedness of the shape of our distribution and know where most values are. Okay, that's it. Bye for now. See you in the next one.